Hey guys, this is Philatelli. Welcome again to Euro Truck Simulator 2. This is episode 7 and we're just going to kick off with a job and get on the road because money's where it's at. Time is money and all that. We're in Cambridge at the minute. I'd quite like to go somewhere nearby, so not Rotterdam, even though that's quite good money. Calais, yeah, don't want to go into Europe yet. Oh, Grimsby, that's not very well paid job though. This one's a bit better. £26.50 per mile, £25. Standard delivery. Taking dry milk. Yeah, let's do that one. Okay, so as always, we'll go pick up a load. First, we're at the paint shop job where we're gonna come and spend a bit of money, but quite expensive. So didn't bother. But let's go pick up the load. Oops, nope, straight on. So, hope you are enjoying these videos. Please feel free to comment or like, or both, and subscribe, or not, whichever. I'm easy either way. I enjoy playing this game, I enjoy making the videos, so having subscribers and people regularly liking and commenting would be nice, but it's not required for me. What is required for me is to get a bit of skill playing this game. Okay. So let's do this one to Grimsby. Take the job. Trailer is ready. Where is it? Over there. You don't like to make life easy for you, do these customers? But still, I guess they're effectively paying the bills for me. That's the trailer, and off we go. 3 hours 37 minutes. It's quite a long way up to Grimsby. I did want to keep going south, but didn't really want to go into France, and there wasn't any other jobs, and I could have driven into London or somewhere nearby and picked up a job, but it's just a waste of time. Not getting paid for driving without a trailer. And this game is about making money. Oh, got on the side road again then. Okay, 30 miles an hour. Speaking of making money, I'm just checking my cruise control. I don't think I've got cruise control on this truck. Yeah, so speaking of making money, as I mentioned in a previous job, I'm a computer programmer by trade. I work for a little software company making some really cool software. It's used mostly in the public industry, but also we're trying to break into the private sector. And I count myself very lucky, really, because I always knew what I wanted to do ever since I can say this now. Ever since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to work in IT. I didn't always know I wanted to be a programmer, but I always knew I wanted to work in IT. And I can remember when the first computer we ever had was a VIC-20, and then we upgraded. It was an old one with a tape machine where it took 20 minutes for games to load. And I think we had pretty much every computer going at some point. We had a couple of Ataris, a CPC 464, and you can imagine a computer having CPC, which stood for Colour Personal Computer. The fact that it was colour being a major marketing point. So we had an Amstrad CPC 464, and then I think we had an Amstrad 6128, which came with a floppy disk drive. We had a couple of Amigas, 600 and 1200. Never had a Commodore 64. Never owned a single Sega console. I was a Nintendo fanboy growing up. I had a NES, Super NES, SNES, Game Boy Advance. I've got a Wii now, although I hardly ever play it. But I always knew that I wanted to be a computer programmer. Since, when we got the Amstrad, it came with a big thick book, an instruction manual, and in the back of the manual were programs that you could write in, and you just copied it. You didn't copy and paste it because it was from a book, and probably copy and paste didn't even really exist then, because it was a Windows environment, really. But it had these programs in the back that you could write in, and one of the programs, well, they were all games, but one of the games was called Bomber. You had to destroy a city, and by city I mean towers of colour. So it's kind of like a bar chart, and there was a plane flying across that dropped bombs by pressing the spacebar. And I remember typing that in a few times, and it never worked. But then, so I would give up, and then a few days later do it again. I guess because I was making typos or something, spelling mistakes, but I didn't have a clue what any of it meant at the time. So I had and there was no ability to debug it or anything like that. So I would type it all in, take an hour or so, hit run, and it wouldn't work. And then one day, it was all working, and played this little game that I hadn't written it. I typed it in, but it felt like I'd written it because I'd typed it in. And from that moment, I knew I wanted to be a computer programmer. And so when I did my A-levels, I did computing. At university, I did computing. So I got a degree in computing, most of which was programming or things related to programming. And I had a job before I graduated. I had a job offer, and it was unconditional. It wasn't on condition of achieving a certain grade of anything. And since then, I've always worked as a computer programmer, which has been great. Sounds really sad and geeky, but I love writing code and seeing the results of it. I think it's great. It's very satisfying for me, which again sounds pretty sad and geeky, I know, but that's the way it is. Roadworks everywhere in this country. Roadworks. Okay, let's get some speed up again. It takes a long time to accelerate with whatever I've got on the back on. Didn't say it was heavy loads though. Which is strange. Let me just check that I don't need a rest anytime soon. No, 6 hours. Okay, great. And then we're all good for fuel. 1400 miles left. Don't have to fuel very often, that's good. Yeah, and so after I got my first job, after about a year, I loved it. The people I was working with were great. The software was really good. Still in touch with some of the people from there. You know, a lot of them were at my wedding. But what I didn't like about it was it's quite a big organisation, and whilst I was there after about 12 months, our division of the organisation was sold, and it became quite the political minefield. And you know, I was only young at the time. It was my first job, and I didn't like the politics of it all. I just wanted to write code. I just wanted to write great code. So I ended up leaving there, but whilst I was there, I kind of got this dream of being self-employed, which is where I'm going with this long story. Being self-employed, and a few years later we took my wife and I took a big step, and I left, and my job, it was a different job at the time, but I left that job and set myself up as a self-employed person with a limited company, just doing bespoke software, managing websites, managed school websites from the local NHS primary care trust, some other bits and bobs. But whilst I was doing that, it was great, and flexibility was really good. You know, I had this great thing where I was playing golf at the time, and my local golf course where I played were recruiting starters, and you didn't get paid, but you did get free golf membership. You know, the full-on golf membership, so you could play any time of any day. And I was able to do that, and I just sat in the starter's hut for 2 4-hour shifts a week, did my work in the hut instead of working at home, and got free golf membership for it, which was great. And you know, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't be able to play golf if I wasn't self-employed. But it's not everything it's cracked up to be, I soon discovered, because although technically you haven't got a boss, technically you're your own boss, actually all that really means is that your customers become your boss, because I was meant to come off. I think I can come off up here. Oh, I've never gone the wrong way before. I wonder if it redirects me. Okay, I'm not coming off there. I can't turn around. It's telling me to turn around. Turn around. You are going the wrong way. Okay. Nuts. I guess we could skid across the dual carriageway again onto the other side, but there's crash barriers in the way this time. If those crash barriers go, I'm going to contemplate a crazy U-turn. I wonder where this is going to take me going up here. Okay, it's a hard shoulder fell. I can't believe I'm going the wrong way. See what happens when you don't pay attention. Oh, should we direct me now? I guess it's directing me to the next point to turn around, but we'll see. Speed camera. Not sure what speed limit was, but I slowed down. So yeah, your customer becomes your boss because you need the money. And instead of having a boss who's paying your wages, you have customers who are paying your invoices, which ultimately pay your wages. So it's all it's cracked up to be. being a self-employed person. Having said that, I'd love to do it again someday. I'd probably do things quite differently than I did back then. But the point of all that is to say that the aim of this game is to make money, and you do that by doing jobs, obviously. So that's why you can free drive. You can drive around the place without a load on your back if you want, but I kind of need the money, so I'm not going to do that. Right, pay attention. I need to go over there. Doesn't seem like it's added that much to my time, this little detour, so that's good. I may do that once. One of my goals for the game is to discover all the cities and drive along all the roads, which I may do once I've got a few bases set up and drivers earning money for me, where it's not so important that I'm driving. And that's a dream for every self-employed person, I guess, is to build up a business such that they don't have to work themselves. They could drive around Europe or play video games all day or whatever. Excuse me. So I think I may do that once the bases are up and running and I've got lots of good employees. But until then, as I said, I'm going to be treating this like a proper job, and in real life I wouldn't do that. So I'm not going to do that in the game. I wouldn't drive from Cambridge to London with no load as a truck driver, so I'm not going to do that now. I realise that's a fairly tenuous link to programming, which is what I started talking about, but that's the way it is. So programming languages I write in are mostly .NET, VB and C#, typically ASP.NET, if anybody's interested. A few weeks ago, which was a good time for me, I was asking Ben what he wanted to do. Ben's not my only child, by the way, but so although I'm talking about him a lot, it's not. I do love my other children as well. I was asking Ben what he wanted to do with his life in the future for a living, and he said, either I want to be a footballer, or I want to do what you do, Daddy. So I said, oh, do you really? I said, do you know what I do? And he went, not really. I thought that was really sweet, because he just wanted to do what I did because it was what I did. Felt like a good father that day. It was good. What's really interesting is that it's only just tonight I let him stay up to watch some football. Let me stay up late past his bedtime. And it's only tonight that he's realised that footballers get paid to play football. So he said, oh, do they get paid? I said, yeah, they do. He said, how much do they get paid? So I said, well, I get paid such and such an amount a year, to provide a bit of context for him. And Wayne Rooney gets paid such and such an amount per week. And it just blew his mind. So then he goes, yeah, I want to be a footballer. So I thought he might want to be a footballer. Truth be told, I'd quite like him to be a footballer as well, because wouldn't have to work. I'd make him give me lots of money. The way I see it, he owes me. Good roof, ate my food, if he's earning that kind of money, he can share it out. Okay, so here we are in Grimsby, new town discovered. Excellent. Let's concentrate so I don't go the wrong way again. Just try and get the parking done in less than the 3.2 this time. Take out the traffic lights. Nearly. Okay, this looks like an interesting depot to park in. Okay, there's the parking space. Let's try and make life a bit easier for me. Okay, let's do this in one go now. Right, I'll left turn on it. Nearly, getting better. Should be able to do it this time. Just drive forward a bit, straighten up. There we go. Excellent. Nice. Bonus for parking. Okay, level 3. Woohoo! What should I get this time? I don't want to do long distance. Not sure what these ones do because it doesn't say what it is, but it does say it can substantially increase your income. So I'm thinking either that one or high value. Rank 2 is 10% higher reward, so that's XP, isn't it? Oh, it's cash, isn't it? 10% higher reward. That one, transportation for 5% higher rewards, 22% experience. Let's go with this one since it'll give us more experience as well. Thank you very much. Oh, new email. Let's just see what that is. We can help you grow. We couldn't have a nice company doing quite well, and we would like to assist you in developing your potential even further. Your credit limit has been raised to £400,000. Let's see what the deal is with that. £4,630 a day. I'm guessing they've not got their exchange rates right there, because I think it would be €400,000, which would be £320,000. Okay, I'm going to sleep on that and think about it, and reveal my decision in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Bye bye.